Ladies and gentlemen, got a brand new video for you today. This was sent to me by one of my editors who shall not be named, and they said they watched the entirety of this video, and it is an absolute journey from beginning to end. Today, we are watching How I Infiltrated a Bizarre Conspiracy Cult from a creator named Oki's Weird Stories. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens.
My fellow humans, I am Benjamin Fulford, spokesperson for the White Dragon Society. With me here is Chodoin Daikaku. In an emergency, he can summon up an army of 200 million people worldwide. Here on my right is...
That guy can summon an army? He's got the summoner uniform with the bowler hat, to be perfectly fair.
An army of 200 million people worldwide. Here on my right is Alexander Romanov, who is a grandmaster of an Illuminati group that claims to have started the French, Russian, and American revolutions.
All three?
As you may know, there has been a battle going on over the future of this planet.
Back in May of 2021, I was exposed to a bizarre conspiracy community that makes flat earthers look reasonable by comparison. Imagine if someone told you they lived out the plot of the movie Total Recall. That they thought they were living a regular life until one day they recovered memories of being a secret agent fighting
Total
an
Recall is
evil
such a sick
organization on
movie.
Mars. Now, what if they also said that they were a space marine who fought insectoid and reptilian extraterrestrials on different planets? And finally, what if they capped it all off by claiming to be G.I. Joe?
The actual G.I. Joe?
If you ever encounter someone like this...
I hate this. I hate this so much. For some reason, I went back on Facebook the other day, which is not something you should do. You can just give up on Facebook. Just don't go back. And for some reason, all I see are like memes about these guys in tactical outfits, but they're like not done with irony. The people who are posting it are sincere. And they're like, look at this American hero. If anyone tries to rob this Baskin Robbins, this guy is going to protect us.
There are YouTube channels, social media groups, and entire conferences dedicated to a shared belief that humanity has already traveled to the far reaches of space, and that a shadowy world government has been hiding this truth from the masses. A lot of the people...
Do they think those masks actually hide their identity?
Government has been hiding this truth from the masses. A lot of the people who buy into this theory also believe that they were abducted and forced to serve in the secret space program against their will. There are a lot of interesting characters in the SSP/Super Soldier world, such as Dwight Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, James Casbolt, a self-proclaimed former MI6 agent who's now in prison for trying to blackmail 2 million euros out of his super center heiress ex-wife, Haley Major, and Mark Richards, who's also in prison, not for blackmail this time, but instead for robbery and murder in the mid-1980s. He was also bizarrely plotting a paramilitary takeover of his county in order to turn it into King Arthur's court with himself as a king. Yeah.
And teens as knights? Oh no. Oh no.
Initially, I was struck by how these so-called whistleblowers spoke with such earnestness while claiming to have lived out grand stories akin to Z-grade science fiction. And more strikingly, was how many people seemed to believe them.
There is a secret space program which is funded by our taxes. We pay for our own enslavement. There are factions in space. They have anti-gravity propulsion systems. Anything you can think of, time travel, manipulating consciousness. It's all real.
Okay, you know what? You've actually fallen into my trap. Time travel, it can't be. Because if it ever would be, it is. We all know the simple time travel paradox, right? If time travel is ever invented, then we would have noticed it immediately, frame one, right? You can't have time travel, you silly goose. Now I know you're lying.
When I first started looking to this community, I considered making a video about it, but I scrapped the idea fairly quickly. I found myself watching SSP videos during my free time, reading articles and browsing their community's forums. Eventually,
my dream is that this Oki guy actually falls hook, line, and stinker. And by the end, he's trying to convince me about the secret space program.
It became my favorite pastime, and it was something that I was doing every single day. And what really intrigued me about it was it just kept getting crazier and crazier. And that's how I found my new favorite YouTube channel, Super Soldier Talk, which is run by a guy named James Rink. He's been doing it for 13 years, and he's been a hardcore believer of it for even longer than that. I found myself really drawn to James, especially his demeanor. I don't mean to ridicule the guy, but I genuinely just find him amusing.
So I am a super soldier. I've been involved in these the secret space program for at least 330 years.
How many? He doesn't look a day over 290.
That with a lot of hesitation because some of these projects, they have time compression zones where you're outside of time and the time is going by a little bit slow.
Sorry, I didn't realize that he was a Sigma 11. He knows about the time dilation zones. My bad, I take it back.
There's different techniques on how they can re-age us and reuse us. I spent at least 75 years on Mars.
Anyway, James runs the most popular YouTube channel in the community. It consists of interviews he conducts with secret space program experiencers from around the world. The guests on James' show all claim to be victims of the secret space program. The roles that they were assigned to in the secret space program vary. Some are shapeshifters.
So today we have David Lotherington, who is an Akashic reader, healer, and telepath. And he also remembers being in a facility that trained his shapeshifting abilities, in which I was also a participant of. He recalls experiences as a super soldier in Kruger and has done training missions with zombies and vampires.
Vampires.
Turned into a turtle. There was another...
What?
There was one kid that turned into a turtle.
It was me. I was that kid. I turned into a turtle.
There was a female that turned into an eagle, and that was used for surveillance. I myself was a blue wolf. There was another being that turned into a cat.
They're nothing like Corey Good, who sells out venues for his talks. Instead, they are just average believers in the SSP conspiracy, who somehow got connected with James and were subsequently invited onto his show. Upon realizing this, I started to formulate a plan. What if I made up a story
he's gonna go on the show. Oh, no.
about being in the secret space program and get onto James' show and share it with his community? And that's how I finally found an angle that compelled me enough to make a video about this topic. And the angle was to become a secret space program whistleblower myself.
Let's rock.
Obviously, evidence of being in the secret space program isn't
Not
necessary at all. All
Not
that's
even a little
needed
bit.
is a story which follows the lore, and, after that, I just have to appear on a major platform and share it. I decided that I would aim to appear on James's channel, and it's even had the illustrious Captain Randy Kramer on it twice. Unlike Captain Randy Kramer, or Corey Good, I was unlikely to get my own show on Gaia.com, so I settled for a more manageable, but still difficult task. To increase the difficulty, I chose not to use my own YouTube channel as a way to influence my way onto the show. Therefore, I needed to find a way to ingratiate myself with James, and hope that he decided to invite me on as a guest himself.
It's time for me to start explaining the lore behind the secret space program. Now, I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. Okay, so it started right before World War II, when the Nazis were interested in mysticism.
Before World War II, the Nazis, who were interested in mysticism and alternative views, searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria...
It's just Indiana Jones. It's just Indiana Jones.
Mysticism and alternative views searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria Orsek, a medium and leader of the Vril Society, who channeled Nordic and Draco reptilians who offered the Nazis the
Nordic and Draco reptilians?
The Draco reptilians told the Nazis about ancient alien technology hidden in Antarctica, and in 1938, the Nazis traveled there. With this newfound tech, the Nazis created the Die Glocke, aka the Bell, which was capable of space and time travel. In 1942, the Nazis were already in space. There they built a base on the dark side of the moon. And by 1950, the Nazis were on Mars. Despite having access to this advanced alien tech, the Germans still lost World War II because apparently the Germans who possessed the technology did not agree with Hitler's regime. There was a split.
The Schwabenlanders didn't want to support Hitler at the end of the war because they considered him insane and the final solution. So there was already a split.
In SSP lore, the Nazis capable of space and time travel became the Fourth Reich, and they pissed off to Antarctica in space while refusing to provide any support to the Third Reich Nazis during the war. Anyway, the evil globalists, i.e. the Cabal and the Illuminati or something, engaged in a Cold War against the Space Germans. The Antarctic/Space Germans would be responsible for abducting people to serve in joint black projects between themselves, the Cabal, aliens, and pretty much anybody with any power at all. This was the beginning of the secret space program. By the 1960s, the Space Germans created Notwaffen, aka Dark Fleet, and began an aggressive expansion out into the solar system, setting up bases on moons around Saturn, the Kuiper belts, and etc. Capable of time travel, the Space Germans also traveled back in time to settle on planets around the galaxy.
Now there's 3 billion people, humans that live off-world under various German SSP groups protected by the Notwaffen, translated meaning Dark Fleet.
People who are forced into the secret space program are called MILABs.
Oh, he was a
aka
MILAB.
military abductees.
Oh,
These
he was
people are
abducted.
chosen because they are special and often because they are psychically gifted in some way.
Oh, man. Who would have guessed? He's special. He's psychically gifted. He might, in fact, be the chosen one.
Around 30% of MILABs are SSP officers, and 70% of them are used as slaves. Individuals are abducted and could be used as just about anything in the SSP. Super soldiers, pilots, remote viewers, assassins, scientists, forced laborers, and even slaves. So, there you have it. That's a
Is he
basic
going to say
breakdown
he was a sex slave?
of the SSP lore. I felt like I was ready to share it on James' show. The only problem was that he wasn't replying to any of my emails. But then I found an in. On his website was a page called My Lab Recovery Network, which was a list of people offering services to help recover secret space program related memories. At the top of the list was James, and for $200 USD, I could book a guided meditation regression session with him, which is exactly what I did at 6 a.m. on September 1st, 2021. Within 23 minutes, James got back to me with an email which read, "Hi Oki, I'm booked till the first week in October. Can I put you down for Tuesday, October 12 at an afternoon slot or evening time slot, EST zone? Which would you prefer?"
He's
By
on
booking a
missions.
hypnosis session with him, at least I had an in. At 1 p.m. EST on October 12th, I got the Zoom call invite from James that I was waiting for. Our session lasted for 2 hours and 14 minutes. The results of the session exceeded my expectations.
I would be curious. What is your genetic background? Like what ET groups are you connected with?
Draco reptilian humanoid hybrid, and then I think I also got like Anunnaki in me.
Do you know who you might have been in a past life?
Maybe you're like the black samurai Yasuke.
You were a samurai?
Yeah. Dude, hold on. I'll show you something.
Oh, don't laugh. Don't break character.
Check this out.
Claude Money, thank you for the 8
That's
months.
pretty dope.
Oh, he pulled out the katana.
And I was a gladiator.
Oh no, that's awesome.
The goal here, I want us to take us into hyperspace. Let's put a gold shield of light around us. So at this point, we call upon Oki's higher self to overwrite any kind of AI. Begin to relax your forehead and your cheeks. And you can breathe just fine in and out as the relaxation goes down into your legs. As you fly through the clouds, the puffy clouds, you may jump around a little bit. Your higher self already knows where to go, so go ahead. When you're ready, step on through the door, and without putting any kind of conscious thought into it, just imagine what do you think would be behind that door. So let's start with that, and tell me what you see.
I see Kevin Spacey.
Paul Serene, he was on the governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
Oh, he didn't just make it up. This man thinks Kevin Spacey is some kind of super predator.
Governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
We're in a gymnasium. It's me and at least 100 other. I think they're recruits.
Do you see anyone else there that you recognize?
I think I see the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
Today, we will be planting 20 million trees.
Okay, so they're probably programming him.
Oh.
So he's the guy that doesn't he like give away a bunch of free stuff on the videos?
Yeah.
They must have looked into his future and okay, so whatever trajectory, whatever plans they had for him was all programming stuff.
Anyway, the session was a success. Such a success that I got what I wanted. James invited me onto his show.
Perfect.
Then he mentioned that it would be a little while before he could have me on his show because he was going to attend a secret space program conference taking place in early November. Without a second thought, I said that I'd be there.
Do you want to come on my show to share some of your experiences?
Yeah, hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
If you're coming out to Vegas, I could, maybe give you 45 minutes.
So a few days later, I traveled to Las Vegas and landed at around 12 p.m. after a 4-hour plane ride. I'm here in Las Vegas for Cosmic Consciousness in Disclosure 5D events, specifically to meet some super soldiers. People who are part of this, who believe that they are part of the secret space program. This has been months in the making. Okay, this is gonna be fun, dude. I am so excited for this. Are you ready, Night Dogs?
I'm as ready as I am gonna be, man. This is gonna be an exercise.
Oh my god, his hand is shaking and he's just shooting. Was that Jameson?
As ready as I am.
Some fireball?
This is.
Oh, Jack Daniels honey? What the hell is going on?
Golden Nugget. We're here. Here we are.
Hell yeah.
I guess we're gonna go learn how to become stronger through genetics.
And experience this.
Is he the only one there?
Up on the starship.
Are they all
I've been
front?
there several times. I spoke with the commander, the Arcturian commander, who I am connected to.
She knows the song of my people. Different regional dialect though.
The conference was a pretty fun but disorganized event. The two workshops we were really looking forward to attending were How to Become a Jedi Warrior and Quantum Spoon Bending, Bring Your Own Spoon. Tomorrow's gonna be a fun day because tomorrow we get to go to How to Become a Jedi Warrior.
I'm excited about that one.
That's gonna be amazing. Unfortunately, when we showed up to the How to Become a Jedi Warrior workshop, no one was there, not even the speaker, so it was canceled.
We just got in here. We have no idea where anybody is. I think.
Aww.
I just gave up.
Yeah, it's been next. So the best part tomorrow is we are gonna go to Quantum Spoon Bending, parentheses, Bring Your Own Spoons, close parentheses. And the quantum spoon bending lesson was underwhelming since, instead of learning how to bend a spoon with our minds, we were instructed to physically do it with both hands.
Oh. Why did someone gasp? Did she have them close their eyes?
But the conference was secondary to my ultimate goal, which was to meet James so he can interview me for his channel. It was during a workshop called My Life in the Secret Space Program that I finally got to meet him. Honestly, I felt sort of starstruck. I asked him to sign my copy of his book, and we talked for a bit before the workshop started. While walking around the venue, I noticed that James had sent me a text inviting me to his hotel room for an interview. Suddenly, a wave of anticipation and euphoria washed over me. This was it. Finally, after several months, the moment I was waiting for had arrived. I ran back to the workshop room, found Night Dogs, and alerted him of the new development. We scrambled to get all of his equipment ready.
This guy loves JD.
To film the interview, and to get to Jay's hotel room as soon as possible. After an elevator ride that felt way longer than it should have, we rushed towards James' hotel room before realizing that we walked in the wrong direction once again. Then we beelined it in the opposite direction, and finally found James' room. I knocked. The time had finally come. James had his camera equipment set up in the corner of the hotel room. He instructed me to take a seat in front of his camera and microphone. I asked him if it was okay if Night Dogs filmed the interview, and he said it was fine. After a brief preliminary discussion, James started recording and we were underway. By then, any nervous anticipation I felt leading up to this face-to-face sit-down had completely dissipated. I was calm, knowing that I was more than prepared to speak about my
Do you think
time
he brought
in
the
Secret
katana?
Space program in a convincing manner. The interview lasted 1 hour, and here's what happened.
Okay, so my name is Oki, and by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. I was under the direct tutelage of Paul Serene, Kevin Spacey's clone. There was 12 children who were trained directly under him, including myself and the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
So, can you comment about what you, or maybe Mr. Beast, or maybe the people in your group were all being groomed for?
We were pretty much put in a top elite special program. They pretty much utilized every method they could to use MK Ultra programming and to create killing machines. And I was able to...
Oh, I thought he was a Kevin Spacey sex slave. You're not going to get away with that one, Spacey, you son of a bitch.
I particularly liked my psionic katana. I liked my my 2 daggers. I had a form of EMP that I could take out their technologies. In my past life, I was Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
Did any of your clones ever get changed into a zombie?
I had a clone. That clone actually was fighting zombies and vampires, and there was also Yetis that they were fighting. I was taken, I was cloned, and my clones with my consciousness inside of them were used pretty much as like kamikaze pilots.
Typically, at least what I heard, black people require a different protocol of brainwashing. Brainwashing.
Oh, best friends, look at them.
Time flew by, and I was struck by the effortlessness of retelling the story which I crafted. I spoke for 1 hour with ease and told my story so coherently that I realized that if I was to continue to pursue a career as an influencer in the SSP community, I'd be able to become a prominent whistleblower. I could do workshops, sell books, charge for hypnosis sessions, be invited onto shows, and attend conferences as a speaker, just like the top members of the community. I would be able to mold a career out of it, which likely could be far more profitable than spending months making YouTube documentaries and releasing them only a few times a year. When I first became interested in the community and its major players, I wondered how these people could regurgitate their own bullshit with such ease, as if their lies didn't affect them at all. Were they deluded, or were they capitalizing on feeding lies to a fantasy-prone audience? And when I was being interviewed by James, I finally understood it. What you believe becomes your own reality, no matter how ridiculous it is. Spewing the nonsense story I crafted was like an out-of-body experience. I was playing a role, and even though I created the role, while I was performing it, it was like a switch in my brain went off and everything I said felt real. For that moment, I managed to delude myself and speak matter-of-factly about being trained by Kevin Spacey's clone along with Mr. Beast. I never broke character. I never felt like laughing or winking at the camera. I spoke stone-faced with deadly seriousness the whole time.
He laughed like 5 times, man. Come on.
It was so easy to detach myself from the situation and make it feel real. Overall, this whole journey has been a fascinating experience.
Damn. That was actually a goated video. It's not over.
Enhanced my DNA, and
2 months later.
They took the DNA from my father, they put it in my mother, and they were keeping tabs on me, and by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. The leader of Monarch, Paul Serene, also known as Kevin Spacey's clone.
So on December 28th, 2021, James finally uploaded the interview we did in Las Vegas onto his YouTube channel. As I record this, the video is sitting around 13,000 views. The response from his community has been overwhelmingly positive.
That was insane. Here's the Patreon if you want to support actual good content for the first time in your lives. Oh, that was so funny.